The hoodie. I knew I was done for the moment my phone buzzed at 2:13 a.m. Not done for like failing a test or getting too drunk at a frat party. More like the kind of done for that makes you want to erase every trace of your existence from the internet and move to Alaska under a new name. Because the person who just posted an Instagram story with my face in it was Easton Reed, my crush, with the caption, "Whoever this mystery guy is, come get your hoodie back." I shot upright in bed, heart pounding hard enough to make me dizzy. The gray hoodie Easton was wearing in that story was mine. And the worst part? I had absolutely no memory of how I'd given it to him. My name is Hayden Walker, 20 years old, sophomore film major at Belridge University, California. Average height, slightly wavy black hair, chronic overthinker, currently trapped in an extremely embarrassing situation. I'd had a crush on Easton Reed for almost a year. Everyone at school knew Easton. Not in the obnoxious hot boy way where guys flex on TikTok. Easton was famous in a far more dangerous way. Hockey team captain, high GPA, could play guitar, a smile that made people lose their train of thought mid-sentence, and most importantly, genuinely impossibly kind. He once sat outside in the rain for nearly 40 minutes just to wait with a freshman girl who was crying because she'd lost her cat. Who does that? Normal people don't get to be that unreasonably good-looking and have the personality of a coming-of-age movie protagonist. But Easton did. The problem was, I'd never actually spoken to him for more than 5 minutes. Until the party last night. And now I couldn't remember what the hell had happened. I grabbed my phone again. The story was still up. Easton standing in front of a gym mirror, wearing my hoodie, coffee in hand, hair slightly messy like he'd just woken up. Face still unfairly beautiful. But what made me want to pass out was the next caption. Pretty sure he panicked and ran away this morning. Oh my God. What did I do? My group chat was exploding. Mason. Hayden, what the fuck? That's your hoodie, right? Luca. Wait. I buried my face in the pillow and groaned. The memories began surfacing in fragments. Red neon lights. Bass so heavy the floor shook. The smell of vodka and cologne all mixed together. I remembered going to the Sigma Tau party with Mason. I remembered seeing Easton in the kitchen. Black hockey jersey. Sleeves rolled up to his elbows. I also remembered staring at him so long I nearly walked into a wall. After that, nothing. Damn, I muttered. My phone buzzed again. Instagram notification. Easton Reed sent you a message. My blood went cold. I opened it with shaking hands. Morning, mystery guy. I stared at the screen like I might spontaneously combust. Then another message appeared. You disappeared kinda fast. Took me nearly a full minute to type a response. Sorry. I kind of panicked. Seen. 3 dots appeared almost instantly. Why? How am I supposed to answer that? Because I've had a crush on you for almost a year, and if I find out what stupid thing I did in front of you last night, I will throw myself into the Pacific Ocean? I ran both hands through my hair until it was a mess. Finally, I just typed, I don't really remember last night. Easton. Seriously? Yeah. 3 dots again. Then, wow. My heart dropped into my stomach. No. Please don't tell me I did something terrible. Did I do something? I sent immediately. This time Easton took a little longer. Not exactly. It's just. You seriously don't remember anything? I was about to lose my mind. Please just tell me. Easton sent a laughing emoji. I hated him. So much. Then my phone rang. Incoming call, Easton Reed. I stared at the screen like it was a ticking bomb. Mason leaned down from the top bunk. Answer it. I'd rather die. A hot guy is calling you at 8 in the morning after a party. This is literally a Netflix movie plot. I threw a pillow at his face and answered the call with trembling hands. Hello? Easton's voice came through the speaker, low and slightly rough from sleep. Finally, I closed my eyes. God, hearing his voice directly was even more dangerous. I thought you were going to ghost me, Easton said. I was considering it. He laughed. That low, quiet laugh knocked my heartbeat completely off rhythm. That bad? Easton. I can't remember what happened. Okay. He drew out the word. Let me ask first. Do you remember climbing on top of the beer pong table? What? Mason above me burst out laughing like a maniac. I wanted to cease to exist. Easton continued. You also yelled at the entire house that. Direct quote. Easton Reed is so good-looking he should be illegal. I froze. Mason fell out of bed from laughing too hard. Oh my God! I shouted. Easton was laughing so hard he could barely speak. That's not even the best part. I don't want to hear any more. Too late. After that you pointed straight at me and said, if he kissed me once I think I'd go straight to heaven. I pulled the blanket up over my head. That was it. My life ended here. I'm transferring schools, I said, voice muffled under the covers. Easton was still laughing. Hayden, don't talk to me. But you forgot the important part. I slowly pulled the blanket down. Which part? A few seconds of silence on the other end. Then Easton said, slowly and clearly, after that, I kissed you. The entire room went still. I was fairly sure my heart had just stopped. What did you say? I kissed you. And you kissed me back. I sat frozen on my bed. My brain had gone completely blank. Easton breathed softly through the phone. Honestly, that might be the best kiss I've ever had. Covered my mouth. My face was so hot it felt like it was about to catch fire. Hayden. Yeah. I want to see you. My heart started racing all over again. Why? Easton laughed softly. Because this time I want you to remember it. I stared at my phone for at least 10 seconds after that. My brain went completely on strike. From the top bunk, Mason was trying to hold back laughter but producing a sound that resembled an asthmatic seal. Oh my God, he wheezed. I am witnessing the origin story of the hottest gay couple at Belridge. I hate you. I love you too. Shut up. Easton laughed on the other end of the line. Am I interrupting something? Nothing worth living for anymore, I muttered. Dramatic. You just told me we kissed. Yeah. And you said it was the best kiss of your life. That's also true. I pressed my face into my knees. God, why did Easton manage to sound attractive even when he was teasing someone? I'm serious, he said softer now. Come see me. Right now. Yeah. I haven't even brushed my teeth. Hayden. What? You threw up in front of the Sigma Tau house last night. I went rigid. I did what? Mason laughed until he choked. Easton completely lost it on the other end. I can't believe you actually forgot everything. I hate both of you. Relax. Easton was still laughing. I still think you're cute. Goo. That word hit me directly in the chest. I went quiet immediately. The other end of the line went still too, for a moment like Easton had just registered what he'd said. Then he cleared his throat. Anyway, I'm at the cafe near the library. Right now. Yeah. Don't you have class? I'm skipping. Why? Easton answered too fast. For you. My heart betrayed me for the 1,000th time in my life. 20 minutes later, I stood in front of the communal bathroom mirror in a state of complete panic. Which one do I wear? I called out. Mason sat on the edge of the sink eating a donut. You're meeting your crush, not attending the Met Gala. I'm being serious. If I were Easton Reed, I'd want whatever makes you look like you want to be carried. I'm going to kill you. I ended up in a navy hoodie and simple black jeans. But the moment I stepped out of the dorm, I immediately regretted it. My heart was beating way too fast. The Belridge campus was flooded with morning sun. Students cycled past red and orange maple trees. Music drifted over from the sports field. The air smelled like coffee and fresh-cut grass. Everything was completely normal. Only I was currently in the middle of a gay crisis at peak severity. I spotted Easton the moment I walked into the cafe. And God, he was sitting by the window in a simple gray knit sweater, hair still slightly damp like he'd just showered. The light fell across the clean lines of his face and made the whole scene look like a goddamn cologne advertisement. My heart went completely soft. Easton looked up and saw me. Then he smiled. That smile nearly made me turn and run. "Hey," he said. I walked over like a robot. "Hey." Easton slid a cup across the table toward me. "Already ordered for you. You know what I drink? Vanilla iced latte. Extra shot." I blinked. "How do you know that?" Easton shrugged. "You order it 3 times a week. You noticed?" "Yeah." God. I sat down across from him, trying to look calm while my palms were sweating. Easton rested his chin in his hand and looked at me for a moment. "You're still blushing. Whose fault is that? I think it's cute." "Stop."
No.
I bit my lip to keep myself from grinning like an idiot. The air between us was strange in a very dangerous way. Not the long-distance crush feeling anymore. More like the kind of tension where I only had to glance at Easton's mouth to forget how to breathe. He tilted his head. "So, you really don't remember anything from last night? Just vague flashes." "Okay." Easton laughed quietly. "You followed me around the entire party." "I did not." "You did." "That's impossible." "Hayden." He raised an eyebrow. "You literally abandoned your friends to stand next to me while I played pool." Covered my face. "Please stop. There's more." "I refuse." Easton laughed hard enough that his shoulders shook. Then his voice softened. "Honestly, though, I liked it." I looked up. "What?" "The fact that you liked me." The air slowed down. My heart pounded so hard it hurt. "I thought I was hiding it well." "Terrible," Easton said immediately. "Every time I walked into class you looked at me like you were about to write a poem. I genuinely hate you." "I know." "Then why didn't you say anything?" Easton was quiet for a moment. His expression softened in a way that made warmth curl through my whole body. "Because I liked you too." I stopped breathing. Easton looked straight into my eyes. For a long time, I had never actually imagined this moment would be real. For almost a year, I'd gotten used to carrying this crush like a quiet, hopeless thing. Stolen glances in the library. The way my pulse went haywire every time he brushed my shoulder in the hallway. I'd always thought I was just one of the many people who had a thing for Easton Reed. But now he was sitting here, looking at me like I was something specific. I asked quietly, "So, why did you kiss me last night?" Easton smiled very slightly. "Because you were looking at me like if I didn't kiss you right then, you were going to explode." I laughed out loud despite the heat rising to my face. "That's so embarrassing."
No.
His voice dropped lower. "It was endearing." Then Easton slowly stood up. I looked up at him, confused. "What?" "Come here." "Huh." "Come with me." "Where?" Easton held out his hand. "Making up for the fact that you forgot our first kiss." My heartbeat lurched. I stared at the hand Easton was holding out like it was the most dangerous thing in the world. Not because I didn't want to take it, but because I wanted to far too much. His hand was larger than mine, fingers long, the veins faint under the light coming through the cafe window. A thought crossed my mind that was decidedly not innocent, and I immediately cursed myself for it. Easton raised an eyebrow. "Hayden." "Yeah. I'm not proposing. Relax. I'm not panicking. You're staring at my hand like it's about to detonate." I glared at him and then reluctantly placed my hand in his. The moment Easton gently closed his fingers around mine, my heart nearly leapt out of my chest. God, his hand was warm, and it felt way too natural. Easton pulled me to my feet, the corner of his mouth curving like he could tell I was falling apart. "What are you smiling at?" I muttered. "Nothing. You're enjoying this." "Enormously." I hated how good-looking he was when he teased people. Easton led me out of the cafe and across campus, which was filling up with students. I tried to act normal. Unfortunately, that was impossible while Easton Reed was holding my hand in broad daylight. A few people glanced over. A freshman girl walking past actually let her jaw drop. I immediately wanted to dissolve into the ground. "Easton." People are staring." "Yeah. Doesn't that bother you?" Easton slowed slightly, then turned to look at me. "Holding your hand?" I couldn't answer. He smiled softly.
No.
One word. That was all. and somehow it was enough to make my entire chest go warm. I'd never been with anyone who made everything feel simultaneously terrifying and easy. Easton didn't let go the whole way, until we both stopped in front of the hockey rink behind the athletic center. I blinked. Wait, I have something to do. What? Easton opened the door to the practice area. Practice? You brought me to hockey practice? Yeah. This is the strangest date that has ever existed. Did you just call this a date? I choked on air. Easton laughed triumphantly and pulled me inside. The air in the rink was noticeably colder. The distinct smell of ice, rubber, and cologne mixed together. The sound of skate blades cutting across the surface echoed everywhere. A few members of the hockey team were already there, and every single one of them turned to look at me. I immediately wanted to flee. A blonde guy let out a low whistle. Holy shit! Another one laughed. Easton finally has a boyfriend. Shut up, Carter, Easton said without turning his head, but the tips of his ears went red. Wait, Easton was embarrassed. That thought sent warmth flooding through me. A guy built like a bear skated over and looked at me with open curiosity. So this is Hayden? I blinked. You know me? Bro. He laughed. Easton talks about you all the time. I turned sharply to Easton. He immediately looked in another direction. Logan, can you not? No. Nobody asked you. Every night you. Easton threw a towel at his face. The whole team burst out laughing. And I stood there, completely stunned. Easton had been talking about me? Regularly? He moved a little closer to me and muttered, Don't listen to them. What were you saying about me? Not much. Easton. Okay, fine. He sighed. I just said you were cute. My heart betrayed its owner yet again. I think I need to sit down. Easton laughed. Then, in front of the entire hockey team, he leaned down and pressed a soft kiss to my temple. The whole rink went silent for exactly 1 second. Then everyone erupted. No vagi. Finally, I owe Carter $20. I went completely still. My face was hot enough to fry an egg on. I stammered. Easton looked very pleased with himself. Yeah. You kissed me in front of the whole team? Yeah. Why? Because I wanted to. Logan shouted from somewhere across the rink. And because he's absolutely gone for you. I'll kill you, Easton called back, but he was still smiling. And the most terrifying thing was, I had never had anyone look at me the way he did. Like my just being there was enough to make them happy. Practice ran for nearly 2 hours. I sat in the bleachers near the rink, pretending to scroll through my phone while spending roughly 90% of that time watching Easton. Not my fault. He skated like the main character of some god-awful sports drama. Broad shoulders, long legs, hair damp with sweat, laughter carrying across the ice every time he scored. At one point Easton pulled off his helmet and unconsciously looked up at the stands to find me. The moment our eyes met, he smiled, and I swear my heart melted on the spot. Damn! Carter dropped into the seat beside me and shook his head. He really likes you. I nearly choked on my water. What? Easton. I looked back down at the ice. Easton was talking to the coach, not paying attention to our side at all. I hesitated. Today is the first day. Carter laughed. No, it's not, bro. He's had a crush on you for a long time. I turned sharply. Sorry. Easton Reed has never looked at anyone the way he looks at you. I was quiet. Carter leaned back in his seat. He's normally so chill about everything, but every time you show up he loses his brain. You're exaggerating. Last night he almost punched a guy just because the guy was flirting with you. My heart stuttered. Who was flirting with me? Some random dude at the party. Carter shrugged. Easton was visibly jealous. Jealous. Easton was jealous. I was still trying to process that when the buzzer sounded across the rink, signaling the end of practice. Easton immediately pulled off his gloves and walked straight toward me. No stopping to talk to anyone. No detours. Just straight to where I was. And God, that was devastating for my heart. He propped his arm up on the bleacher beside my head, leaning slightly down. Bored?
No.
I could tell you were watching me the whole time. I went speechless. Easton smiled faintly.
Goo.
I hate that word. Liar. The smell of mint and clean sweat from him made my head spin. Then Easton lowered his voice. Come eat with me? Right now. Yeah. You're still in your hockey gear. So? You look unfairly good in it. The moment those words came out of my mouth, I immediately wanted to punch myself. Easton froze, then slowly smiled. That devastatingly dangerous smile. Oh, he said quietly. Covered my face. Forget it. Not a chance. I didn't say anything. Hayden. Easton leaned a little closer. Do you know how endearing you look every time you blush? I swore if he kept looking at me like that for 5 more seconds, I would actually combust. I didn't know which was more dangerous. The fact that Easton Reed was standing close enough that our knees were nearly touching, or the fact that I was getting used to that feeling way too quickly. I hate you, I muttered, still half covering my face. Easton braced a hand on the bleacher behind me, leaning down a little more. That's not quite right. I hate the way you talk. That's not right either. I hate that you're too good looking. This time Easton laughed for real. Full and bright enough that I had to look away or my heart would stop functioning. Okay, he said. That one's fair. I glared at him. You're so conceited.
No.
He raised an eyebrow. I'm just listening to you confess things. Oh my God. Easton laughed again, then finally stood up straight. Give me 10 minutes to change? Yeah. Don't disappear. Do I seem like the kind of person who disappears? Easton gave me a very pointed look. Based on this morning? Yes. Fair. Very fair. I tossed his towel back at him before he laughed and headed toward the locker room. I sat on the bleachers with a heartbeat that was still nowhere near calm. Everything was moving so fast. Just last night I'd been the loser pining for Easton in complete silence. And now, the whole hockey team knew my name. Easton had held my hand across campus. And he looked at me like I was the only person in the room. I've never seen him like this. I startled and turned. Logan had just sat down beside me with a water bottle.
Sorry,
I said. Him. He nodded toward the locker room. Easton. I tried to sound casual. How do you mean? Logan smiled. Normally that guy is cool to the point it's annoying. But ever since he started liking you, he acts like an idiot. My heart lurched again. He really has liked me for a long time? Bro. Logan looked at me like the question was almost too obvious. He drove almost an hour just to buy the donuts you said you liked in class. I blinked. What? We thought he'd lost it. I tried to remember. 2 months ago in film class, I'd mentioned offhand that the best donuts I'd ever had were from a place in Portland that had closed its nearest location. A week later, Easton had appeared before class with exactly those donuts and said, was passing by so I picked some up. I thought it was a coincidence at the time. God, there's more, Logan continued, clearly enjoying himself. He hates romance movies, but he watched that gay film you recommended 3 times. I laughed before I could stop myself. No way. We had to listen to him talk about the ending for an entire week. I bit my lip to keep from grinning like an idiot. A strange warmth spread through my chest. The kind that was very dangerous. Because I was starting to realize, maybe this wasn't just casual flirting. Maybe Easton was actually serious. 15 minutes later, Easton came back in a black hoodie and gray joggers. Hair still slightly damp from the shower. I almost forgot how language worked. Logan elbowed me in the side. Close your mouth, bro. Shut up. Easton walked up in front of me. Ready? I stood. Yeah. Logan immediately called after us. Don't be too rough with him, Easton. I'll hit you, Easton replied without looking back. I laughed, then noticed Easton was watching me laugh. His expression was so soft it made my stomach drop. What? I asked. Nothing. Easton held the door for me. I like it when you laugh. That's it. I was completely done for. Easton took me to a small diner a few blocks from campus. The classic American kind, red vinyl seats, neon signs, old rock playing from the speakers. We slid into a booth by the window. Outside, the sky was shifting to the pale orange of late afternoon. Inside, my heart was still beating like it had a death wish. Easton rested his chin in his hand and looked at the menu. What do you want? I haven't decided. The blueberry pancakes here are really good. How many people have you brought here for you to know that? Easton looked up, then smiled slowly, like he already knew exactly what he was about to say. No one. What? I've never taken anyone on a date here. I bit my lip. Oh, disappointed. I didn't say that. But you're smiling. No, I'm not. Hayden. Okay, fine. Easton laughed quietly and nudged his leg against mine under the table. The moment our knees touched, my stomach tightened. God, he flirted like breathing. The server came to take our order and left. A few seconds of silence settled between us, but the comfortable kind. Easton turned his glass in his hands. Honest question? I'm a little scared. Fair. I laughed. Go ahead. He tilted his head. The photo from last night. I choked on air. Oh my God. Easton laughed so hard he nearly knocked over his water. I'm just asking. We agreed not to bring that up. Too late. I covered my face in despair. I'm going to drown myself. Hayden. What? Do you know that photo kept me up all night? I slowly lowered my hands. Are you trying to kill me?
No.
Easton tilted his head, expression entirely too dangerous. Just being honest. The atmosphere shifted completely. My heart started racing again. I didn't think you were the type to send something like that, Easton continued. I'm not, usually. Then why did you? For my ex. Easton immediately made a face. Gross. I burst out laughing. Did you just call someone else gross for receiving a photo of me?
No.
He leaned forward. I called him gross for getting to receive it. My cheeks burned. Easton was genuinely a natural disaster. Connor and I ended things months ago, I said. But he kept texting wanting to get back together. Do you still like him?
No.
Good. I blinked. Are you jealous? Easton was quiet for exactly 2 seconds. Then, very. My chest clenched. He said it so easily. No games. No pretending to be cool. Just honest in a way that was almost frightening. I bit my lip to stop myself from smiling like an idiot. Don't smile like that, Easton muttered. Why not? Because I'm trying to behave. You're not exactly normal. True. He looked at me steadily. That's the problem. After we ate, we decided to walk back to campus. The California evening had cooled slightly. Wind moved through the palm trees along the road, leaves rustling softly. Easton walked right beside me, very close. Every so often his hand would brush against mine as we walked. Each time it happened my heart jumped like a complete idiot. So, I started. After you kissed me last night, what happened? Easton glanced over, visibly delighted. Finally curious? I need to know what I did so I can mentally prepare. He laughed. You were incredibly clingy. What do you mean? After the kiss you wouldn't let go of me. I froze.
Impossible.
Oh, there's more. Easton. You wrapped your arms around my neck and said, he was barely holding back a smile. If this is a dream, don't let anyone wake me up. I wanted to walk directly into traffic. Oh my God. It was cute. It was not cute. Really cute. I covered my face again. Easton continued, smiling far too much. Then you fell asleep on my shoulder for almost half an hour. I think I need to have my memory surgically removed. Too late. He looked at me, eyes visibly softening. I liked all of it. My chest squeezed strangely. Not the nervous kind anymore. Something deeper. More dangerous. We were nearing the dormitory when a female voice called out ahead of us. Easton. A blonde girl standing near the library steps turned toward us. Very pretty. The Instagram influencer kind of pretty. I nearly slowed to a stop instinctively. She smiled at Easton. Wow. Long time no see. Easton gave a small nod. Hey, Claire. Claire. I knew her. the most well-known former cheerleader at school. Also rumored to be Easton's ex from last year. Something uncomfortable settled in my stomach. Claire looked at me and raised her eyebrows with open curiosity. New friend. I was about to answer when Easton spoke first.
No.
He said it calmly. This is Hayden. The way he said my name made my heart stall. But Claire was still glancing back and forth between us like she was piecing something together. Then she smiled a little knowingly. Oh, I see. I started feeling tense. Not because Claire was unpleasant, but because I wasn't used to standing next to a guy like this, especially in public. Claire looked at Easton. So you finally went for it? I blinked. Easton didn't deny a word of it. Yeah, he said simply. Claire laughed. God, I remember you talking about him constantly. I turned to Easton so fast. What? Easton exhaled heavily. Claire.
Sorry.
She was grinning. But you were genuinely so annoying every time Hayden came up. My face was burning. And Easton was staring somewhere else like he wanted to vanish. That moment made me realize something absolutely devastating. Easton Reed, the guy that nearly half the school had a crush on, was embarrassed. Because of me. And God. It made me want to kiss him right then and there. Claire waved goodbye a few minutes later and left, leaving just me and Easton standing under a pale amber sunset in front of the library. The air went quiet. Then I laughed. You really talked about me to that many people? Easton made a low, pained noise. Don't start. No, I need to know. It wasn't that much. Logan said you drove an hour to buy me donuts. Traitorous rat. Claire said you brought me up constantly. Easton put his face in his hands. I hate all of my friends. I watched him for a moment. Then my chest went completely soft. Easton. You really like me that much? He lowered his hands. His eyes met mine immediately, not looking away, not deflecting, just soft enough that I almost forgot how to breathe. A lot, Easton said quietly. The space between us suddenly felt very small. The sound of distant students talking faded out. All I could hear was my own heartbeat. Easton stepped a little closer. Hayden. Yeah. If I kiss you right now. He glanced briefly down at my mouth. You'll remember it this time.